Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to WCS America Challenger. We have one last match for the year in the group stages. My name is Fear Dragon, and I am joined by Zombie Grub for this last match. How you feeling about it?
I'm very excited for the last match of
the group stages.
Of the group stages. Yes. It's like a really, you really got to hype that up, right?
I mean, with the last one, what you guys should have said was, this is going to be the last Terran versus Terran of the group stages of the year.
Okay, well, I'm going to say right now, it's the last time you'll see me on the Challenger broadcast, so I'm hyped for that.
Oh my god, Zombie Grub's retiring from StarCraft in 2019, guys.
Yeah,
Confirmed.
ignore, there's some blonde lady on the Montreal announcement, I don't know who that is.
I said 2019, that's 2018.
What? Oh, you said I'm going to retire for next year? Oh, okay.
Because you said last Challenger
I thought you said for
broadcast.
the rest of the year. Hey, this is the schedule, if you forgot. This is what it was. Hey
guys,
actually 1:30
we have one match now. I know that we just mentioned that there was one match, but we wanted to visually display for you that final match that's coming up. It's going to be Astrea versus Semper, Protoss versus Terran, and you didn't actually answer my question. Now, what are you thinking about this particular match?
I thought your question was I excited?
No. I already know you were excited, Zombie Grub.
This particular match, I feel like Semper wins, but apparently Astrea has some pretty solid PVT when he doesn't kind of open it a little bit weird, like that Sentry stuff or the Nexus First stuff. Yeah. So, I want to get to Semper, but I think that might just be the name bias,
default,
he's the default guy, right? He should get through.
Yeah, I still want to give a little bit of favoritism to Semper. I'm kind of with you on that, but I do think that Astrea has a really solid shot. I don't think this is going to be necessarily a completely one-sided affair on this.
I don't think so, unless Semper takes the soul of Masa. He was like, wow, that was a really nice way to 2-0 Protoss really quickly. I'm going to steal that.
But I will say that one thing that I think is oftentimes true with Semper, the longer this game goes on, the more I'm going to like this for Semper. So we'll see how things go as we start up here in the top left-hand corner of Dreamcatcher. Top of the blue, Protoss player from Sloth Esports Club. He is Astrea.
In the bottom right, as the Red Terran, he is Semper. Would you want the scary music for your intro or the epic music for your intro?
I would want the happy music. I want whatever. I want
Starcraft music.
I want Carbot to design.
Honk honk.
Yes. I just want the honk honk from the Carbot animation. Oh, that would be great.
That's actually perfect. I want there's not many times that Mr. Carbot himself would put his own voice into the animations, but one of the few times he did was the Infestor when it took control of the heaven. I need that. That's my...
That was great.
So once we Fear Dragon vs. Zombie Grub, that's going to be the sound effects of all of our units.
I'm really digging the 2018 War Chest, 2019 War Chest. I want intro music. So when your opponent first sees your first unit, you get to play a sound effect.
And your sound effect
And my sound effect
would
be... It would be the honk or it would be the...
If you could buy sound effects, let's go really deep into
oh my god, you buy a spray that comes down with a sound effect.
You really like sprays. I was just gonna say
I think sprays are awesome.
The amount of neurals would increase exponentially, all right? If the times that you neuraled something, the Infestor went I think it would jump. I would do it all the time. Battlecruiser suddenly is making
I feel like if you could put make any skill make that that sort of sound effect, I feel like a lot of people would start off racing to sort of be like, oh look, I'm playing Protoss.
Yeah,
or anything like that. Just all the racial hate would come out.
Look at my stalker.
Oh boy.
Yeah. That's coming in 2025. StarCraft 2. Heard it here first. And they're really digging deep for that cash.
I know, it's StarCraft 2. It's we decided that we wanted to follow the same suit as StarCraft 1. We're not going to release StarCraft 3 for at least 15 or so years.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I think that's 100% what's going to happen. So, we do have a 2-1-1 on the way for Semper. Astrea is going to go... He does the sentry thing again.
He really believes in these sentries.
Correct. I kind of mentioned it to Nate. It feels like an old school thing to do.
Oh, super,
Okay,
super
yeah,
old.
that's what I thought. I mean, Protoss builds, what even are they? But not like this.
But I mean, this is not even old school in the sense like a year or two ago. This is
Right,
like
exactly.
years ago.
But that makes sense for Astrea, like, you know, on his title, right? Last Challenger 2015. And while he certainly has been playing enough to get this far, he's obviously good. He knows the meta. He might just be very comfortable with that very fast, guaranteed, hallucinated Phoenix Scout.
Okay. Well, as you said, it's that 2-1-1 on Semper's side of the map. Going to be throwing down that starport, getting up stim, and we'll see the Reaper. Ooh, did it actually get up high enough on the high ground to spot out the Twilight Council? It did, in fact.
Oh, wow.
So that is a really, really nice discovery, just because even though it's standard, it's the fact that he knows it's going to be standard stuff.
Cool. And if he was watching the games, which I hope he was, of Moss vs. Astrea, he knows kind of exactly what this could lead into. Because I think, you know, this is Zest, all right? You don't see a Sentry, first of all. But then you see that Twilight Council, and you're like, oh, okay, the Stalker's going to start pressuring me. Like, it's going to be careful. But apparently, Astrea just works with a faster third base off of this. So I think this game, I think he got a faster third last time, but the other time he did this.
I think he got the third base in the previous games before the Robo.
Yeah,
something
I think
like
so.
that.
I think so. I mean, he did have a decent amount of mortals, so I might be wrong. But the point is, it's not aggression. It's not coupled to the War Prism. It is that third base. And Semper can kind of rely on that. And he has nothing to worry about. In fact, he is the one that's going to make Astrea worry with the 2-1-1 timing.
Okay, the first two medevacs on their way out, and that's going to be the big moment, as we all know, with the 2-1-1 for Semper to start moving across the map and looking for a bit of damage. We'll see Blink will be finished up in time for that 2-1-1 to actually hit, so if Astrea is in position, he can kind of catch some of those medevacs, maybe get a bit of damage on and really push this back pretty quickly. But Semper should be on point, shouldn't let that kind of beat him around too much. Adept is actually going to see all the Marines, so he does have a good idea of what's coming out now.
Yeah. Yeah, like I said, it's kind of his, well, it wasn't his first indication, but confirmation, 16 Marines. And Astrea's going to, you know, do what he did. I mean, Semper goes for the almost exact same push that Masa went for. I think this was on Catalyst, but you can do it on Dreamcatcher as well, but, like, the tanks come forward as well. He's got a third barracks already finished up, starts +1. Inevitably, the Protoss will come ahead when they go for double forge, but that charge seems actually well-timed. So even though he is getting tanks, he'll have it.
Yeah. Charge plus the double forge. I mean, Astrea is looking to be in a really solid, just pretty typical Protoss position where you get those double upgrades, you chrono boost them out, you get up a decent number of zealots, and you are really prepared for a lot of those kind of big siege tank attacks. Semper still not showing any kind of signs. We'll see exactly what he's going to be doing next, because we don't see the third CC, and we also don't see additional barracks or anything else being thrown down.
I think he's going to do a similar push to what Masa did. Masa was more active with his 2 medevacs, but if we recall, like it was active, it actually was never doing much. It was on the map, like, oh, I could pick up and do anything I want, but it never did, because he really wanted it for the 2 tanks. He also kind of hit the tanks, but at this point, Astrea had already seen the tech lab and knew, and Semper knows that he knows that he knows, but oh, didn't see the SCVs pull, did you?
Yeah, just a small number of SCVs are going to be joining the fray to help prepare up any of those units and make this push a little bit scarier. But we do have a 2 Immortals going to be out. Handful of charge lots. I think the Stalkers are sitting, where are they? Okay, they're actually moving around the map. Are they going to try and come in from behind?
I mean, that's usually where the tank push goes, is to the right side of the third base in this regard, but he actually went for the middle. But they're breaking on the rocks. He's able to see that and go, okay, hold on here. They got to reposition.
Okay. I was a little bit afraid. I was like, Stalkers, you know, they can do okay coming in from behind for a flank, but I don't know. And Semper just...
Whoa. Yeah,
I don't need these SCVs.
Take the tank. There you go. That is a bold move. Astrea obviously is like coming into the left side, but realizes, oh, that was close.
Oh, he's going to see it now.
Yes.
Do you recall at this point? I mean... It's still pretty,
I guess not.
Still pretty far out of position. I mean, you're going to lose your gateways. You're going to lose your forges potentially. This is a lot.
Potentially. I mean, it delays the upgrades, that's for certain, but will it take an efficient trade? The Stalkers blink forward, but it's a little awkward since they kind of went into the mineral line. The Immortals get choked out actually. They block the Zealots for a period of time too, but eventually it is Medevac is sniped by those Stalkers, but meanwhile, a drop over to the right side. That's where the recall is going to be used, but Semper does pick up after getting 10 probes. Well,
but the entire army was recalled, so now the Medevac can actually go into the natural. The other Medevacs... okay, there's a few units still left in the main base.
That almost would have been awesome. If it was both medevac still full and not sniped, he would have gone to the main base, I think, almost guaranteed. We're going to continue with the aggression. Astrea is keeping his head above water, but down to 39 workers, and his upgrades are still delayed.
Oh my god, I cannot believe that medevac actually survived. These medevacs still have a few units left over in them. This medevac, not going to be long for this world now.
Nah, not enough room up there. So finally deals with the majority of the army, but now we have a Liberator coming in. That might get some more probes. Astrea's going to get a War Prism. Either he's looking to deal some return harassment, or he's actually thinking you are using too much army to do this. I can counterattack you, which if he had his upgrade finishing, it took him a long time to repower that forge, and then it's it's a decent long upgrade. Maybe he does the counter, but I don't think he has room for that.
We'll still have a 1 upgrade lead with that +1 armor, and going to be quite a bit behind here for Semper. But Semper is also just not really pulling off on the aggression. He's just continuing. So if Astrea does move out, he is in a bit of an awkward spot. But here we go. Stalkers blink forward on the medevac. They get one of them with a few units still left inside. This is not going quite as well for Semper. He might even just try and go for the Nexus at this point.
I think Semper's other attacks are being scuttled by an observer, by the way. So Astrea, I mean, it's obvious kind of what the plan is for the Terran now. He's done it once or twice. So Astrea has enough units over to the right side, units chasing down this one. He's still losing probes every now and again.
Losing a lot of workers, actually. He's down to 46.
Now we do have that question of like, well, the War Prism is done. Your upgrades are, you're trying to chronos out as fast as possible. Can you do the counter? Can this do a lot of work? It's only 2 Immortals, and we're going to have Ghosts with EMPs to mix things up here, but the medevac should be sniped.
It's just not that big of an army, though, for Semper.
Okay.
I'm still a little bit worried here for Semper. Unless these Liberators get sieged up in a very nice spot and don't get picked off for some reason.
It's a good defensive position with the Widowmines burrowed, too.
Yeah. Okay, Widowmines are going to prevent a lot of these units from just immediately blinking forward and sniping off the Liberators, but okay, yeah, Astrea, he's got the War Prism. I feel like he has enough to even like do something like blink over the wall and just go for it. No, I guess there's a lot of bio there.
And he doesn't have an observer to see like how much bio there isn't there.
I think he might be waiting for 2-2. He might be waiting for +2 armor right now.
Yeah, that will give him an upgrade lead. But nice Zealot Bomb in the main base. Actually prefers keeping the War Prism alive, so it doesn't let go of every Zealot.
I do like that. The War Prism has more value alive than just trying to unload a couple of Zealots. All right, he's going to try and bust forward. There it is. Blink forward on top of the Liberators, but also on top of the Widowmines. Loses quite a few Stalkers. Is going to be able to pile on through. 1 EMP goes off on the Zealots. Is there enough here for Semper?
Maybe if the units attack the command center, the SUVs are going to be pulled, so he's going to lose a ton of those. Serious revenge for what has happened to Astrea's economy. I think this is too much of a good army with good upgrades.
Yeah, the Zealots take care of the refinery. Now they're going to get back involved in the actual battle itself. War Prism gets sniped off. Immortal's starting to lose its life, but even if Semper holds on here, I don't think he'll hold on to his 3rd.
Right, that has to be lifted right now to survive. He's only down 8 workers, though, which is actually perfectly fine. And you know what? That is going to be saved. The Stalkers blink away. They don't try and get the last 2 shots off for their +2. And that means the game goes on. That is not a big enough deficit. But Astrea just says, like, well, I basically won. Like, no, even 32 SCVs down. Semper's at 47.
Yeah, Semper was able to do enough damage to his opponent before all of this. I think the big thing that's going to be hurting Semper a lot, though, whoa, he's pulling a lot of SCVs for this.
Is he gonna go for it? He might be.
I mean, the weird thing, the upgrades, if these upgrades finish 3-3 upgrades, I actually think that Semper loses a lot of his opportunities here to do anything.
Yeah, the upgrades are gonna be a problem. He saw that there was a 4th base basically done at the time, and now it is done. He was behind. I think he should pull the SCVs, even if maybe there are some other ways to try. This is the most immediate try attempt.
Just Zealots and Stalkers, he actually EMPs the Sentry as well as a lot of the Stalkers. This is looking pretty scary right now for Astrea.
It's a good army to pull SCVs against. All the Zealots waste their shots on the SCVs, waste their time on the SCVs. Like, is Semper gonna make this work?
I think he's starting to make this work. All right, Semper losing a lot of his workers, but he's also been able to kill off a lot of the probes at the same time. 4th base should go down. I don't even think Astrea should try and save it at this point.
Yeah, I think get that up. Like, obviously, it's all in. But he's going to try and break it here. But
the army's pretty stimmed up. I mean, he might be able to do something here, but now we end up seeing most of the Zealots have been taken care of. Astrea only really has income from that 3rd base. The natural expansion started barely kind of mining right now. He's got another Immortal, though. This army is so stimmed.
Yeah, those stims are hurting so much, and the medevacs are being microed with the army, so not like continually healing. It was really, really close, but without the SCVs to buffer, with more time on Astrea's side, I think Semper is just going to be pushed back, and as such, probably lose the game. Is he willing to tap out right here, right now, though?
Okay, well, he's killed off a lot of work. Oh, man, you know what? If he retreats back, he's killed the 4th, and he's still mining on the 3rd. Zombie Grub, is 9 workers bad enough? Oh, okay.
He didn't have concussive shells. That is a huge change.
Oh, that would have helped versus a lot of those zealots.
Oh wow, yeah. I didn't.
But I know that it's not a great spot. I actually would not count Semper out just yet.
I'm not saying he loses
100%.
Like 100%,
yeah.
but like 90%, because those upgrades are extreme.
Oh god, yeah, the upgrades are the big problem.
I mean, Semper tries those upgrades, but like, ha, you don't have front of boost. Stop that.
If he can survive long enough to at least get up 2-2, maybe, and keep his economy alive.
He has to, I think, deny the 4th base again to continue the dream, which I don't see him doing.
How would you feel if he was able to take his own 4th? Do you think it would be enough? You'd have to be able to defend it though, and that's hard. Yeah,
like, that's what Astrea has a 5th base, and he's probably on his way to Colossus, and like. Semper really can't take on 2 techs right now.
Yeah, and he needs the most magnificent Widow Mines ever to be able to hold on against something like this. And with those sentries just force fielding in a bunch of the armies, Semper losing quite a bit here.
Pick up? No, oh, just run away. These Widow Mines are getting some decent shots.
Yeah, oh, that's a good shot. One more Widow Mine? Okay, goes off on the Zealots. Yeah.
Ghost coming forward. SC's gonna be pulled again.
Yeah, he really doesn't want to be losing SCVs right now, but I guess he has some to spare, and he starts stepping forward. Ghosts not really doing a ton of damage here, and I think that is going to be too much. Astrea pushes forward, breaks through Semper's wall, and is narrowly, with the Zealot reinforcement, going to be able to push through.
What a game, though. Semper almost did enough damage just with his drops, period, and then when he got countered, as Astrea should have done, glad he did it, he almost brought it back with an SCV pull. He's still not willing to give up. He's like, oh, is this actually that side of the game? No,
third base really going down is, yeah, a little too much. GG gets called. Astrea takes the first game.
That was a very fun game.
That was a really, really crazy nutty game.
That was a little how I did not expect Semper to play like that, though. The tank push, sure, like that's every Terran, but I thought it was going to be, as we watched in his TvT, more methodical. Instead, he went for the very dangerous main drop, which... like, you always look at it and you're like, well, the mineral lines are just as good as that rock formation. And it's like, actually, I don't think it is.
Yeah, it's kind of funny because Semper used to be typecasted to the point where nobody would ever respect him as like a player that would ever throw out any kind of like really heavy cheese or all in or anything like that. And he tried to mix it up. There was like this short period of time, actually toward the beginning of this year, where he was like, okay, you know what? I'm going to learn how to cheese. And he would do like 3 Raxes and stuff, or he would try out these cheeses. And I'm not gonna lie, Semper, please forgive me. They were really bad. They were just like not good. Like he would get into positions where it's like it should have been wins, and then he would still lose because things just didn't go well. I think he just didn't have the experience. But I think this kind of attack, these kinds of big, very committed attacks, I'm actually a much bigger fan of Semper kind of learning and just kind of getting into that kind of groove.
I agree with that. I'm glad to see that he tried, but maybe go back to just more standard defensive, solid pushes. Yeah. It is funny how, like, you know, some people are like, you really need to learn to cheese. You need to learn how to mix up your best ofs, and that's absolutely true. But, you know, I guess some people have the concept where, like, well, cheese is just your first 5 minutes. And really, it's so much more about being able to follow up correctly and read the game. So it's really hard to become a cheeser. In fact, the only person I think of that was really, like, not initially, but then became a really, really, really good one is Hero. He took like this like mini break where he just kind of disappeared, and then he came back and he was the cheesiest guy ever, and he still is, and he's very good for it. But otherwise, it's very hard to incorporate in your style. Yeah.
Also Scarlet, I think, to an extent.
I thought she was always kind of a weird player.
We can talk about this.
Yeah.
But let's go ahead and introduce the players. Spawning down here in the bottom right-hand corner of the map, we have our blue Protoss player, sending up 1-0 in this best of 3. It is Astrea.
In the top left, as the red Terran, he is Semper.
No, but I was thinking about Scarlet because Scarlet was back in 2012 and 2013. I think she was just like a very mechanical, macro-focused player, like super straight up. Okay. And then 2014, I think she started getting like super cheesy. Just super cheesy.
You might be right. I think that she had said something along the same lines where like she like that famous Red Bull series, she decided to not all in, which she actually like retrospect was like,
Yep.
I could have, but I wasn't comfortable. And now I think she's one of the most comfortable people to do
Oh yeah.
all-ins and weird things. So, yeah.
But yeah, I know what you mean. It's kind of interesting how players develop over the years, and that's actually one of my favorite part about watching a lot of these players. It's not just seeing how they play with their sort of play style, but seeing how their play style sort of adapts and molds itself.
I remember like it was like 2 years ago or something like that when Hero did come back to playing in like online cups and then really doing well offline. I was just like, well, he's a fun player. I like him, and you know, he's obviously a good player. He played Pro League, and he always had snipe builds in his back pocket. But then he just came and he was doing that like silly warp prism with the cannons underneath it. Like, oh, okay, that's how you are now.
That was a great. I think that series versus SOS really changed him.
Yeah, that was great. I mean, that was more than 2 years ago then. Jeez.
Yeah.
Time is so relative. You're Dragon. 7 years ago is apparently when I started casting.
Oh yeah, I heard apparently you started casting before Nate or something.
Well, it's like on a technicality, right?
Yeah.
Like, clearly he did bigger events, but anywho, we have a Stargate now for Stress. Something he has not been able to show us, I guess, because well, I didn't get to see.
Not in this series. Yeah, he did go for this versus Epic, and actually this is a lot of what allowed him, I'd say, to do quite well versus Epic, whether it be with the Oracle just moving forward and getting a lot of damage done, or actually in the other case where he just constantly had revelations down and was able to make really informed decisions and keep his opponent at home. Well, Adept moving across the map is going to look to try and get some damage and actually finds the Reaper in the middle of that. That's you don't usually see the Adept finding the Reaper on the Terran side of the map.
So I think Semper's going to be a little disappointed that Adept is being so bold, because in the other, well, the first game, right, and in the games versus Masa, Astrea never got to really do a lot of early game scouting. He depended on that Sentry. If it was the same situation, Semper gets away with reactored Cyclones, which can just kill a Protoss player. And I'm actually really worried because I'm looking at Astrea and he's not building a pylon as natural after scouting a reactored factory.
Yeah, I think he's a little busy right now dealing with just the Reaper that's already been able to get 2 kills. It's not going to kill him.
If Semper wanted to move across the map, like he's gonna
have
to
he sees them.
Depths.
And he's gonna lose both of them, or he's gonna lose one.
Yeah, like I think the Reaper saw like no pylon. You know you have a pretty big gap of time. Like if the pylon was done, you didn't throw a shield battery. That can actually be built just in the nick of time. But very different. You don't see a pylon at all. I think you do pull the SCVs. You don't really commit to 2 more Cyclones. You kind of continue on with your build, but you do try and deal some damage here.
Yeah, there is an Oracle out. It's going to have to stay at home, and that is Astrea recognizing that he needs everything over here. Oh, we got a couple of those SCVs also being pulled, so he can repair up the Cyclones. If the Oracle just tries to target fire you down, I don't think it's actually going to work enough.
Well, you just well, he's starting on the SCVs, which is not a bad idea, but unfortunately I think 3 shots till now and not 2 shots, so it's not as immediate as you would hope.
The lock-on's on cooldown for a little bit. Now he has a lock-on. He kills off one Oracle. The second Oracle's here. A pylon going to get taken out. There's no shield batteries here, but the Cyclone has to retreat.
I'm surprised he should have just been dealing damage while he waited for the lock-on.
Yeah, just even going after workers. I mean, the Cyclone does damage quickly.
You always have to be worried about the pro pull, because it is kind of effective, but I think that could have just been standing here dealing damage. But very nitpicky, as this is not like an all-in build. We're not talking about, like, he needs to do so much damage.
I mean, this is already a lot.
It's already a lot. He's on his way to 3rd CC on Barracks, and if he thought he was in trouble, he could also build a bunker, which might still be like something that would be a lot safer, but he's not doing that. And we'll see how that works out. He did build Widow Mines, and he's continuing. Now he's building Cyclones, but the Widow Mines are in the middle of the map.
Oh, he's trying to bait it with the Marines. That's so cute. He's trying to bait the Oracles further, but yeah. Oh!
Stop it.
Oh my God, Widow Mines are the derpiest units
my one
ever.
Widow Mine. Don't even worry about it. Come back over here. Does he get tricks? No, he doesn't.
He just moves it a little. Oh man.
All right.
Well, he did buy himself a little bit more time to also get up more units back at home, because if the Oracles just flew straight across the map, there actually wouldn't have been much. But now there's both of the Cyclones back at home, and there's another Widow Mine back here, but Oracle doesn't have that much energy either.
Oracle.
Or hit points. Or hit points, yeah, it's dead. That's it.
That was a mistake. But, you know, maybe a lot of Terrans now know that you are dependent on that factory for some time when you do something like this, so they aren't as willing to swap it off, but there are some Terrans who swap it off, so there wouldn't be Cyclones there.
All right, Widow Mine gonna burrow right on top of that probe. Stalkers are gonna go pick it off. She's gonna run away.
Can't catch me.
I'm pretty sure you can. Pretty sure you can. Oh, but is he paying attention? Yeah, he is.
That was almost really cool. This is dangerous.
That's a lock on the weakened up Oracle. That's gonna go down.
Oh, that is gonna go down. Oh, that's nice. Like if those 2 Oracles, 3 Stalkers.
Oh, he's gonna bait him into.
More.
He's being so aggressive with these Widow Mines, and I love it.
He's being aggressive with his factory units, which his production is kind of finalizing, so I guess it's safe to do, but it's always scary if you lose those Cyclones, suddenly they counter. Maybe they also got Blink while this is happening, but clearly Blink, not anywhere close, less than halfway through.
But
it is the next plan.
Does he know about it?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think he's on to Semper's tricks. And also kind of more of a typical follow-up nowadays.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I like this pylon just to be able to scout out for any kind of drops, especially versus a player like Semper. And this is also a very cute pylon indeed. That's not going to really work out because Semper goes for the more forward third.
Yeah. Well, he can just put it a little bit lower. Well, now he can't. Army's going there. Run, Proby. Put it somewhere else. But while the army goes to the left side, Astrea's army goes to the middle. It's not with a Warp Prism, but it will have Blink, and it could do a lot of damage if it finds the army tied out of position, but the army actually runs back, so I don't know.
Okay, Oracle's going to have a decent amount of energy for something if he decides to get involved in the fight, or if he even just decides to throw down a Revelation for those Widow Mines. Sees a lot of the army here. Widow Mines do end up burrowing, but I'm just saying that is easily Revelation by one single Revelation.
Oh, I thought he was making up for the lack of Marauder Slow last time by skipping combat shields. But no, he has that too. So all of the Widow Mines are revealed. He scans and actually sees that there's a trap too if he does chase after this. So that's really cool play from Astrea.
Okay, Astrea gonna poke down further forward once again. Doing some good blink micro. His gateway, or his proxy pylon is pretty far away right now. Actually, he has 2 proxy pylons. Would love to even, honestly, I really don't hate when Protoss players just add on a gateway, especially if you're on 3 bases, just to get the faster warp-ins.
Let's talk about the fact that it is 3 bases. It's also no upgrades. So he's really, I don't like this actually, now that we have, he didn't bait out as many stims as he was hoping for, I think. Although this was an overextension from Semper.
Yeah, a lot of Marauders getting tons of damage done versus the very Stalker-centric force. The Zealot's not really at the front lines. They're gradually getting there. Another Revelation thrown down to keep an eye on those Widow Mines. He's going to start to pick some of them off. The Zealots are actually getting taken out by the Widow Mines regardless, though. There's still one more Widow Mine. Ooh, nice blink back, and he's going to be able to force Astrea back for now, but Astrea has more Stalkers coming forward.
And
he just killed his own Stalker.
That was also kind of weird. 2 Cyclones come from behind. They were actually finding one of the proxy pylons, not the second one, however. And this is still a battle of stims, basically. But that EMP just blanketed most of the Stalkers. Second EMP does go down, and Semper is going to win this tug of war, especially because now his reinforcements just so much better, so much faster. He has upgrades. He has Marauders against what is still a mostly Stalker army. His 8 more are warped in. And now he also has Ghost, which they felt a little fast, but now that they're alive and well, and they're gonna help for sure.
All right, Widowmine tries to get a bit aggressive, gets taken out as it gets baited out by the Blink Stalkers. Blink on cooldown for a handful of these units, but does come off cooldown. He can retreat out, loses a Zealot, but like you said, Semper is now starting to get the far better end of these engagements.
I was like, what the heck killed 3 probes? A Widowmine during all this snuck into the 3rd base.
Oh man.
Yeah, but that is not nearly as important as the fight going on right now, because Astrea, he was basically all in when he did that.
Yeah.
That was an interesting way to play from his position. And if he had baited maybe one more stim and there's a closer proxy pylon, I think he does win. And now it's the tides have turned.
There's kind of a golden rule for Protoss versus Terran where you say a Protoss can skip having all the splash damage units like High Templars, like Colossus, if you have double Forge. But if you don't have double Forge, you need some of the splash damage units to stay in the game as the game goes on. And the Robotics Bay coming up so late. The second robotics facility going to try and play a little bit catch up, but I don't think Semper's going to give him the time.
Yeah, I think in this type of game, it actually would have been better to just skip the forges and be like, yeah, I just don't have upgrades.
Just go for disruptors.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Disruptors.
Okay, Force Seals are going to be able to keep a lot of Semper's army out of this fight. EMPs blanket the army though, so no more of those Force Seals and no more shields on these Protoss units. As good of a job as Astrea is doing with the Blink Micro, I think Semper's army is just a little too sturdy for him.
Yeah. That was such an oddly timed all in. I don't think Semper recognized what was happening.
Yeah. And
then he was like, wait a second, especially scouted that pylon. But it was closer than I think it really appeared. when you see like how fragile a stimmed army can be. GG, Semper does hold on, takes game number 2.
All right, we got it tied upstairs. I actually really wonder, like, I think that was an intentional all-in. It's just so unusual to see a Protoss player go for 3 bases and not get the forges. I actually really wonder if that was actually just a mistake. Like, he just forgot them or something. I'm not 100% sure.
I'm like trying to think of what else he did that would have, because it wasn't like it was. So there was that panic moment in the natural, but that was like 2 minutes before I think he decided to not go for forges.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I feel like that might have been intentional. I mean, we do still have, and especially coming from an age perhaps or wonky gateway.
He did almost make it work. Like there were some moments there where it really did look like he was about to make it work.
You remember that time where like Flash lost like every game to like the simple, what was it, like a 6 gate or something like that? You just, if you don't build a bunker, you die.
Yeah.
If you build a bunker, you didn't die.
I remember.
There are some weird attacks like that, but you're right. That one is not too common.
Yeah. Well, we get ready to move into Lost and Found. Final game. This is the last game, Zombie Grub, of 2018 Challenger group stages.
It's so important when you put it like that way.
I know. But okay, guys, seriously.
Wait, is it also the last game on the last map pool? Or is next
No,
next week?
playoffs is still on.
Oh, darn.
They're not going to change. It's like middle of the tournament, guys. Let's change up the ladder map pool. Or the map pool.
I mean, if you change it from like Saturday to Sunday, that would be mean.
No, you know what it really would have been mean is if Group A and B were played on the old map pool, or the one we're using right now, and the new map pool was used for Group C and D. That would have been mean.
I mean, it's like a little mean, but I actually feel like some players are like, well, as long as I had time to repair. I don't know.
Maybe.
Okay, yeah.
I mean, I'm sure some players would be like, yeah, I like this ladder map.
As
some players
someone
would be
who
like, yeah, I prefer the new one.
Who does like a lot of online broadcasts where you do have that awkward moment where you're like, well, this group was before the new patch and this group wasn't. Like, what do you do? Some players are okay and some players aren't.
That's fair. Yeah. It really does depend on the person. But I mean, there are some people who prepare very differently. Some players, like I know Neeb likes talking. I don't always believe him on this, but Neeb always likes talking about how he doesn't ever prepare for his opponent. He just prepares for a matchup and stuff. So there's like players who prepare differently. Some players, I mean, there's also players that'll say like, you know, whatever, just pick the map kind of. We'll just play it out.
Yeah.
So
Neeb does that too.
Yeah, really it's just Neeb is weird.
I don't know if it's just Neeb.
Yeah. All right, guys, we're going to be starting down here in the bottom left-hand corner of the map of our final game for the day. It's going to be our blue Protoss player. He is Sloth Esports Club's Astrea.
In the top right, as the red Terran, he is Semper. What?
Oh, our production guy, every single time he introduces Semper, he just says Max Angel, because that's his name. No, wait, no, Astrea's name.
I was like, what are you talking about?
I was like, Semper's
that
name
doesn't
is definitely
sound like
not. He's
name to me.
definitely an Alex.
Yeah, exactly. Crazy.
Max Angel is a pretty cool name.
That is. That sounds like
that is straight out of like an action movie.
Your parents were like, you know, they're already blessed with the whole Angel last name, which is already kind of cool, and they're like, let's name our son a superhero.
Like Maximum Angel.
And then he becomes a StarCraft 2 pro gamer, and you're like, well, okay, that's fine too. It's not quite superhero, but
that's my superhero. Zombie.
But then you don't even use your real name in StarCraft, like in esports, so that really would just.
You might say that he went astray.
Duh.
Astray.
No, I wouldn't say that.
Hey, what is Astrea most afraid of in his speech class?
What?
Astray. Like an that's a stray.
You know, I got it. I've never heard it called a stray. Like whoever's like, you know, you have a couple of stray in your your speech. Like it's kind of weird. Like tighten those up. It's like leash him. Put a leash on him.
Put a leash on your Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think that actually is a saying. Anyway, we did have a Nexus. What was that, after Gateway? Yeah. Normal Nexus.
It was a good Nexus.
I thought he would try and get away with a Nexus first against Semper, because him doing it against Masa was actually just kind of like a silly idea.
That is a fair point. If you were going to do it versus anyone, why wouldn't you do it versus Semper instead of Masa? That is a good question.
I think he really liked Acid Plant's defense. But that didn't work out well, did it? Now he's in the decider match. on the ropes.
Well, Probe is trying to stay a bit hidden once again, hoping that, you know, that Reaper would move around, go to the other side of the map, and now he's going to try and run in and be like, okay, this is the time. It's worked before. Let's get forward. And then the Reaper encounters. It's like, ah, dang it. I almost made it there. And that reactor was going to be finishing.
You know, here's the Terran's perspective. I know it's somewhere. I know it's somewhere. If as soon as I leave, it's going to come right here. I found it. Thank God I found it.
You know, actually, what I'm going to start doing? I'm going to actually make note of that timing. I'm going to send out 2 probes because no Terran in their right mind would expect 2 probes. I'm going to let the first probe, I'm going to run it deliberately into the Reaper.
Like, okay, Masters 1 players, like GM players. There's this guy that brings like 6 probes and doesn't cannon rush. He just like uses it to harass you. If you know who that guy is, say one.
Wait, there's
Chat.
Puck. It's Puck. No, wait, Puck. No,
I
Puck.
can guarantee I'm not playing against Puck on ladder.
No, Puck has a. He actually has started doing a thing where he worker rushes every single game.
Yeah, you guys were talking about that.
And he leaves 3 or 4 workers back at home.
This was happening from like 6 months ago. So if you
okay,
that's fair.
Never
mind. You know what? More important things are happening.
Yeah.
As we do have once again a reactor factory. It worked out so well. He's gonna do it again, but this time he's not gonna do the double cyclone, which is something that Astrea is preparing for.
And there's a shield battery already here. Yeah.
But that doesn't help you against a potential drop later on, although that starport was laid.
Yeah, starport actually just now coming down. It's also got a tech lab on that barracks. Just gonna notice right next to the starport.
Oh, he is. He did go for double cycles. I only saw the 1, but still, like he's with 1 shield battery, you're pretty much good to go as long as you have any amount of units to help out. But he got 2, just in case he's.
Okay, well he should be super safe then. Even though the Stalker taking a bit of damage there, the Hellions, I guess the Hellions could run in.
Where are there any more units? There we go.
Still gonna go after a couple of these workers though. Manages to soften up some of them. Get 3 kills. Okay.
So
for 2 Hellions, it's okay.
No, it's okay. It's I'm wondering about the follow-up here. So he is adding a tech lab to the starport, but he actually transferred the barracks tech lab to a factory.
Huh? And getting out tanks? Yeah.
Might be to help with the defense. I mean, defense and offense eventually. Like they're multi-purpose units, but it is going to be cloak.
And Scan comes down the main base. I believe Semper should have seen the Forge and the Robo, so he should have a very good read right now of everything Astrea's up to.
Oh, Astrea's not going to go for double Forge this time. Not the fast third and double Forge.
Yeah, if you're gonna go for like fast charge and get up a Robo and stuff, I don't hate it. As long as it does eventually get up either a second Forge or getting up some sort of form of splash damage tech.
Yeah, well, I was hoping that was going to be armor. It is also setting up preparation for his 3rd base, but not a lot of scouting into the main. No, he has an adept, sorry. Right, his Robo just finished, right? So, he's not going to see the Banshee in time, unless the adept somehow magically makes his way into the main base.
That should not happen.
Right, that is a problem. No Stargate to try and scout it, no fast Robo to try and get an observer. He
does have the Robo, though.
Yeah, but it only finished recently, so the observer's not over here.
Yeah, the Banshee's, I mean, the Banshee's not actually going to have Cloak for another 20 or so seconds.
He's not making an observer at all, though.
He's making a Warp Prism. This is actually the attack that I was thinking Astrea was going to do a while ago in his PVTs. Like, this can be a pretty strong attack where you get up a lot of these gateways, you get up maybe like 1 upgrade, and then you just get up a lot of these Stalkers and just kind of poke forward with a Warp Prism. But oh boy, this is... Well, the saving grace here is that the shield batteries can actually keep a lot of these probes alive, but it's just barely out of range for a lot of them.
Like half of them can be kept alive for a little bit longer. So Semper just simply moves over to the right side. He walks through Widow Mines, who just like... Not a great day for those Stalkers. Don't even take out the Widow Mine on their way out. Warp Probe's lost the main base, so there's no shield battery whatsoever to pull to. And Astrea is just bleeding workers.
Yep, he's gonna blink forward and doesn't even get the snipe off on that. Oh my god, and he's just gonna bait him around.
Very nice, very nice. Semper gets some decent scouting as well. He sees the Templar Archives is already reducing that storm. The Banshee, unfortunately, is guaranteed to go down. I thought there was a second one. Where are you at? Coming in.
There was a second one made. Yeah, not quite there yet, but 9 workers killed off is pretty good damage there for for Semper.
Yeah.
But Astrea has 4 Templars lit up in those that Warp Prism. This could also get a lot of counter damage with Storm getting close to finishing up.
That will be really fun to watch. I don't see too many Storm drops.
Now, Templar Archives was, of course, scouted by the first Banshee. It's going to get double confirmed once again as the second Banshee comes forward. Shield battery coming up, but a handful of these workers still going down. And oh my god, the probes blocking the Stalkers. A little awkward.
Yeah, I think that maybe should have gotten 5. Oh,
that did get 5.
Should have gotten 6.
Warp Prism, do your thing. Go, go. No. Oh, he sees there's no workers there, so he just backs off.
That is going to be really... I'm the Terran player, and I can't wait to see the Storm drop in the main base.
Oh man, and he has been banking energy for a while. The Warp Prism before all the Banshee harassment had 2 High Templars loaded up into it. So throughout all of the Banshee harassment, those High Templars have just been building up energy. He probably has more than just 4 Storms. It's probably closer to 6 or 8.
He's not going to go for the Storm drops. He could have, and then still had enough energy to do an attack as well, but now it's just going to be the attack. That is once again the Widow Mine. That's a really nice Widow Mine.
Yeah, softens up every single one of these cells. Now, he might just try and wait it out and regen some shields while he also gets up another round of Warpins, but no, he's just going to go for it. Okay, Storms are ready. Here we go.
The Widow Mines are looking for the Zealots as they're pulled
back.
Some decent Storms go down. The Medivacs actually aren't over with the bio, not healing. Come on, ladies.
High Templars, also 2 of them already, or 1 of them got picked off. The other one is still alive. It has some Storm energy left over.
Nice hold. That's actually more than a nice hold. That was a not good attack from Astrea, who just ended up losing his Zealots despite trying to save them from the Widow Mine. Still got taken out by the bio without stim, without combat shields, no ghosts. That sounded like a perfect opportunity. Instead, Astrea is down 30 army supply with, better upgrade and Storm, but Semper has not been shy about ghosts. So him having them is like no different than the last 2 games.
He's gone into them pretty quickly. Okay, we do finally have a Storm drop, and he's going to soften up so many SCVs, but not actually guarantee the kill. He's looking for the next one. It gets 4, but that's really not worth it for a High Templar and a Warp Prism.
Oh, yeah, that Warp Prism dying is just like, now it's free range for Semper to move out on the map, because, well, it's possible you build a second Warp Prism. I think Astrea is going for this, like, decent Hail Mary move to try and go up to, I think, Colossus this time. I think maybe last game is about Disruptors, but maybe Colossus here. But yeah, there's no Warp Prism. We'll see what comes out of the Robo, as Semper does move across the map, feeling free to do so.
Okay. 6 pylons being added on because Astrea was momentarily supply block. Disrupt, okay. I have to bring up, I would be remiss if I did not bring up that for a very long time, Semper's win rate in TvP was exceptionally low. We'll hold that thought. Oh, that Storm, that was a really good Storm, but Semper used to have a lot of trouble with Disruptors. He used to have a lot of trouble with Disruptors.
It does help to have these like positional units like Liberators and tanks though, and he can try and focus fire on the Disruptors with the tanks here.
He can. Okay, one of the ghosts gets fed back, but he gets a really good EMP off on at least the front line of units. Disruptor kills off 2 ghosts. That's a value trade.
That is pretty valuable there.
Oh my god, wait, he has more High Templars, I think. No, it's a probe and a Zealot, never mind. I thought for a second he was flanking with a Templar.
That was loses 1 Disruptor. I mean, he's got enough economy here, and he's trying to get to a 4th base too to continue producing 2 Disruptors at a time, but that is a very difficult choke to force, I mean, any type of army through. He's gonna have to get more of us around, which he's trying to set up now. Okay,
he's starting to pick off some of these units. Semper is gonna see this coming, so he may decide to at least pull back a little bit or reposition his army a little bit, as he's gonna need to. He repositions a couple of these Widow Mines. He's going to be able to kill off this Nexus. Astrea's got to go if he wants to save this. It's already too late.
Well, he's going to lose that Nexus, and I think he's going to lose his 4th Nexus as well as he finally pulls the trigger on the attack.
Whoa.
He's still going to lose a lot of units to the Liberators, and actually Semper is going to try and escape with a decent amount of bio.
Yeah, and there is that massive drop doing a ton of damage. Like you said, a bunch of the bio does manage to escape out of there alive, and by killing off 2 of these bases, he puts Astrea into an undoubtedly all-in position. He really doesn't have anything else to fall back on. He doesn't even have a +2 weapons upgrade. He's got +2 armor, sure, but even Semper is about to finish up his +2.
I like his priorities here. If you don't get the second engineering bay, okay, you did, but you don't start it, at least you start your ship weapons, because Liberators might be the way that you continue your lead. Very awkward there. AI, please. Might still be able to save the bio. He does, because this bio ball is going into the natural, taking out Pylon, but more importantly, maybe the Robo. Actually, just a very nice pylon there.
Okay. Semper's gonna be able to escape out of there alive for now, but the Stalkers are on the hunt right now. You gotta be so careful with these. Oh, medevac boost is gonna be coming off a cooldown soon. He's gonna lose one full medevac. Gets out of there with the rest, though.
There's kind of like a blind scan that went down in the middle of the map, and I think that's when he realized that army is chasing my medevacs. But he is comfortably getting to that good macro production. I think he has 2 starports now, the fusion core, so he's looking to get that, there we go, yeah, Liberator range. And his upgrades now have that chance to come back. I mean, actually, they already have. It's 2-1-1.
Yeah, and he already has that next upgrade on the way with 3-2 on the way, actually. So he might even be, yeah, he's going to be overtaking Astrea, who does not have a second forge right now.
And the Liberators are going to really make dealing with the Disruptors, I want to say easy. It's not always as easy. StarCraft's not an easy game. But, you know, there are some players who would take this lead and just dance around the Disruptors with bio. You don't have to do that if you get 10 Liberators with range and +2. You just force them into a corner and they kind of just slowly die.
Yeah, I think that's most certainly going to be probably more along Semper's play style, just utilizing those Liberators to try and shut down the Disruptors from really getting involved in the fight. But okay, that Bioforce coming back forward. It sees one Zealot that is going to reveal things. He goes for the Nexus, and that is not going to be finishing anytime soon. He can even go to the main base if he really wants to. No, there's a lot of Stalkers there, and he's going to actually pay for that.
Yeah, losing a full medevac, still only having like half a medevac.
But I mean, for the Nexus, I would still say it's worth it.
Yeah, considering how big his lead already is.
Yeah.
This army is going to become a perfect army. It's got Ghosts, Liberators with their important upgrades. These Disruptor hits have got to be very good.
Astrea has pretty good control, but I think that Semper is also feeling good about his Ghost control, his Liberator siege ups, and everything else.
Yeah.
As long as, again, like you said, those Disruptor hits are everything for Astrea right now. He's got 11 Disruptors, so
that's a lot.
He has a lot to work with.
And he really isn't in like that bad of straits. Even after losing the 2 Nexus, he saved a decent number of probes. So as soon as he set it back down, it was good saturation. Like, this game is not entirely over because Liberators still positional units. If his armies is to the left, his Liberators off to the right, then suddenly the Disruptors hit the bio ball and the Liberators are crying without their buddies. So that could definitely still happen, but if Astrea doesn't make the game hectic and just let Semper get across the map and siege him up, then he is, in my mind, he's just dead. We have how many Liberators? 7, with 3 more on the way, and the +2 is almost done.
Okay, well, the Liberators are not sieging up on the side with the Disruptors, so they're going to re-siege now. Disruptors, he's going to end up losing 1 or 2, I think.
Just barely.
Oh my god, these storms!
Those are good storms. Those are storms that make you actually just pack up and go home and repair those. That's just saved so much time for Astrea. Huh.
Oh boy, this is actually really working out well for Astrea. He is back to equal supply with Semper, whereas he was down not long ago, about 40 supply. Semper is still trying to push across the map. He's going to look along the south side, but there's so many Disruptors there, and the Liberators are actually not on this side.
Run! I think the Liberators are being repaired. He was just trying to maneuver around, but now he's going up to 14 Liberators. And I mean, I like that Astrea, though. He's maxed out. He has this good army, and he is trying to find Semper's army in the middle of the map, trying to surprise him. That could work. Or
those MPs.
That was good MPs. I mean, the Liberators are always doing so many damage, but that is a decent number of units to kill 5th base.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to be able to at least deny it for a little bit.
Is he paying attention to his other army, though? Liberators do get a lot of shots off.
Yeah. A lot of those Disruptors have already gone down now.
Yeah. So he's at 11. He lost 8. He's down to 9. He just actually made a ton of Disruptors this game.
He has made an absurd number of Disruptors. I really do wonder if this is hey, Semper, I heard you don't like Disruptors, so.
Why would you need upgrades if you have Disruptors? But that might be a legitimate question. You do probably want Tempests.
This is the flank right now potential here from Astrea. He's moving forward from the north side. He's going to start coming in from the south side as well. So these Liberators cannot siege up on both sides at the same time very well. Disruptor shots prevented the bio from protecting him. All the Liberators go down.
Oh, this was a really awesome surround as Semper loses all of his Liberators. That was his lead along with a bank. but can he produce fast enough, as Astrea should be on the warpath? He still has disruptors. His army is still okay, I guess, even without its upgrades. Semper just needs to buy some time, though, and he'll be fine again.
Yeah, he does have a handful of these Liberators that just need to siege up over by that choke point once again, prevent this army from moving too far forward. But he also needs the ground force underneath it to make sure the Liberators don't just get sniped off.
Well, this is exactly where Astrea can't break. Chokes, ramps, Liberators all facing the same correct direction. That's something he can't break.
Yeah, oh god, that surround, that was so good for him. And yeah, okay, Disruptors, gotta be careful because those Liberators are gonna start taking him out. And yes, Astrea does have a decent economy again with the 4 bases, but even those bases are gonna start running dry soon.
He's gonna have a tough time protecting this 5th.
Yeah, this 5th is gonna be pretty tough.
Very. That's gonna go down. That was his backup 5th.
Actually, if the Liberators siege up, he's getting oh my god, those storms!
Okay, yeah, we'll repair your command center and repair your Liberators.
Well, repair the command center first. It's gonna morph into a planetary fortress soon, but now we end up seeing Stalkers blinking forward, disruptor shots going off on all of the bio, and there just doesn't seem to be that much Semper bio left over, but he's still up in supply.
This is something like it's so amazing how +2 Liberators look, especially if you don't get like the last 2 or 3. Without that +2, they're not taking down this, again, like, it's a lot of Stalkers in this army. It's a lot of Stalkers too, but it's a lot of Stalkers, and those are what's being two-shot.
There were a lot of Disruptors.
Exactly.
There's only 3.
Those are what's being two-shot by the Liberators, so yeah, initially the momentum looked to be on Astrea's side, and then suddenly Semper does pull through and now has a substantial lead in supply, and not enough Stalkers take on the Liberators. They're actually kind of, they're like, please kill me, but there's not enough Stalkers.
Macro. Semper just continues making more and more of these, and he's able to snipe out those Disruptors before the big hits. The Liberators killing off all of these Disruptors. Just so many have gone down this game. How many have died?
20.
20 Disruptors.
That's so much money. And that was all of his game plan. Disruptor, Blink Stalker, basically. He had a couple of charge lots and sentries, and it was almost working. He almost was able to outmaneuver the Terran. He took down 1 great Liberator army. He was close to taking down another. But Semper now, this is where he should never lose the game. Up this much in supply with this many Liberators. Okay.
Yeah.
The freedom.
This base is not going to be going up, and we already see a lot of the Stalkers going down. He doesn't even have that much bio supporting the Liberators from the backside, but it's still enough. He's actually still going to do enough here.
Now the bio can take on this army. There's only 2 Disruptors. This is something that Semper could probably micro against. Again, the Liberators will help out too. And this is going to be a win for Semper. He's done it.
Yeah.
He's ready to Disruptor.
He's leading up 80 supply at this point. Really, really hard-fought battle, and damn, Astrea did impress me, but Semper still walks away in the 2nd spot of our group.
That's what we expected when you look at the names, but dang.
Scores are not going to tell the story.
Astrea played really, really well.
Yeah, a lot of players really like to say that Astrea has a lot of potential as a player when he's able to like really focus on playing and stuff. We kind of got to see a bit of that. And I really hope that he does decide to stick back with StarCraft and doesn't just leave us once again.
Yeah,
come back like 3 years and do the exact same thing.
Unfortunately, his next chance, unless he goes to Montreal, I suppose, will probably be next year.
I wouldn't doubt if he did, but I'm not too sure.
I don't know.
That'd be cool.
But I love to see it. Like that was cool play. That was cool, like come from behind play. I mean, Disruptors are great at that, but it was a lot of just him realizing it was a positional game, and he almost outplayed Semper in that regard. Almost.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, as we recap our day for today, let's go over this awesome NA group that we got to witness. We had Astrea starting off the day versus Masa. Masa, I mean, the story for Masa today was actually, you know what? People may doubt me, Fear Dragon may doubt me, but I'm still Masa. Goes into the playoffs 4-0 undefeated. And of course, Semper had a very rough road as he beats Epic, but then loses to Masa, and then has a very close series versus Astrea. And all of Semper's series, I would say, were pretty close for the most part. Minus that, the Masa series is a little weird, but yeah, still good.
The series he won were very close to being losses. Yes.
Yes. But we'll see how things go in the playoffs, which are going to be happening next week, guys. And that's going to be for both Europe on Saturday as well as North America on Sunday. So, guys, that is, I think, going to be it for us today. Zombie Grab, do you have any kind of closing thoughts?
I wish I was there with you guys next week, but I won't be. But I will be at Montreal, so I will inevitably cast the best of these guys. So
there you go. All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you all so much for tuning in for WCS Challenger. The group stages are done for 2018, but there are still 2 last days left over. Those playoffs, please be sure to make it next week. We'll see you guys there.